I wish my meetings were always this quick. Next item on, the next agenda is the actual Vernon Hills regular board meeting dated September 14th. It is now 6:37. Could I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Kessler.
Did you say it's December?
December 14th.
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Here.
Commissioner Moline. Commissioner Baloo.
Present.
President Dorhofer.
Here, here. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. The first item on the agenda this evening is the omnibus vote agenda. Items under the omnibus vote agenda are considered routine and/or non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. If a separate vote on any one item is desired, it will be pulled from the omnibus vote agenda and voted on separately. Items included in the omnibus vote agenda for this evening are the minutes of the regular board meeting dated November 16th, 2017, payables less Granger, and payroll through December 14th, 2017, in the amount of $769,201.55. Could I have a motion to approve the omnibus vote agenda?
So moved.
Second? Second. Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Baloo.
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler.
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
President Dorhofer.
Yes, next item on the agenda is the welcome to visitors, yes, public comment period. Being as they were so enthralled with the first meeting, they left. We will move on to the financial reports for the period ending November 30th. Marla, they are on file. Any changes?
No, all's good.
Very good. Next item on the agenda is Executive Director Jeff Usher. Jeff?
Thank you. We've got a list of, we've been through our meeting updates. I think kind of everybody's up to speed on the Sullivan Wetlands Project. And then the Hawthorne School District, we both, Commissioner Baloo, President Dorhofer, and myself met with the village this past Monday evening and discussed really developments relative to the access driveway. And so we're working with Gaywald Hamilton on, the kind of fine tuning of that project. I did have on the agenda for you tonight an update on that project and that driveway. But I've been asked by the Gaywalt and the school district to hold off on presenting that publicly until the school district gets a first look at it. And both Commissioner Baloo and President Dorhofer and myself had a look at it in terms of just the refining of the driveway. And the key thing I will say was just getting bus traffic off of Aspen and through there is still, I would say, a major advancement for the project. We did speak with the village about our concerns and reservations about stacking cars in the aquatic center. And on this particular plan that was presented, you have a copy before you. I'm still a little hesitant because if you look at it, it does not show the actual service drive going through the Sullivan lot. And so I think that was still a point of contention that I believe the park board would like to at least see addressed, but it isn't in this plan. I did speak with the consultant, an engineering firm earlier today, or actually later today, about that. And, they're just kind of going off what they're being asked to do by the school district. So at some point, if it is still the board's desire to have that drive, that service drive, connect all the way through to our lot, I think we need to sound off on that. I'm happy to take directive, to administrators, but I think from a board's perspective, it might not be a bad idea if that's the consensus, is to send that notification on to the village and the school board as well, that that's your desire. So I'll be happy to take any questions regarding that anytime. Cheryl's going to present a little update on social media shortly here. I did want to thank the board for their support once again of our annual holiday employee appreciation event. And special thanks to Amy and the PERC committee for all their efforts in putting that event together. We're still working with Dan Dalziel. Again, we had presented the Century Park South expansion at the Village Liaison meeting earlier this week and got some feedback from the village relative to that. Some good points that were brought up, and so after the first of the year, Dan Dalziel, Dave Brown, and James and I will sit down and we'll kind of map out some of the particulars that were discussed that night, and then we'll bring that back to the park board for further review. The Public Official Administrators Meeting, that's be Wednesday, January 10th. That's at 5 p.m. and that'll be hosted by Hawthorne School District. So if any of the board members are interested in attending that, please let me know in advance. Also on the docket tonight, you have just an updated policy reflecting, this is Governor Rauner just instituted this new law that all public agencies must enact before January 15th, I think it was. So obviously, we're not meeting prior to that after tonight, so that's on the agenda. It's a refinement. We have an existing policy. It just kind of refines some of the necessities and requirements that the state put before us. And there's a list of updating events that I'm sure Tom will address. And that'll conclude my report. Be happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Robbins.
Just one quick question. Are we, on the Sullivan Woods update on January 25th, are we voting on it that evening, or?
I couldn't answer that. I think that's a board decision whether you feel, at that point.
Short answer to that is it's possible. We'll have some, I'll be reaching out to everyone to see what their comfort level is, what we need to know to make sure that anything we need to learn will be learned that night. And if we're in a position to vote after that point, we will. If we need to defer it, then we will defer it.
I would tell you, we're mailing 500 pieces in the next couple weeks. So we're mailing to every resident in Hawthorne Club in Sugar Creek, because one of the things that we've gotten a lot of feedback in is, I didn't know about this, I didn't get it, I didn't get solicited on this, especially the recent public meetings that our consultants had that I went to in the morning, Dave in the evening. It was to 30 homes. And so, besides our social media and our website, we figured let's just get a mail piece in everybody's, in that area. So we could conceivably at that Jan 25 meeting, you could have a full house. So we've reserved the community room potentially,
here.
but I'll
We have
defer to
12
the board.
seats.
We'll have this room set up too in case, it's a smaller turnout, but I fully expect that you're going to have a larger turnout that night.
Commissioner Kessler.
I'm not sure if we want to have dialogue on this, but I was curious the pros and cons of having the driveway for the, or have an access drive for the school, the new driveway proposed for the kindergarten building.
So,
Pros and cons of connecting it to our parking lot.
well, I think the major pro is you're taking traffic off of Aspen. By
How are
bringing,
we taking it off of, if the buses are coming the back way and circling around?
buses are not, the desired plan now is that the buses would come in off of Aspen and there'd be a short driveway right in front to the north of the new building, and then they would go out,
Ah, okay.
Philip. Makes
Okay.
sense? Kind of hard to see. I don't want to put it up, on
Right.
a larger screen at this point. And then you see the stacking of vehicles down at the south end there. And once again, the morning, none of us are concerned about the morning. Drop off, pickup, I don't really care how they do it in the morning. The afternoon is when it's going to be potentially problematic. And that's where I think, need to maybe ramp up our efforts in just communicating with the village and the school district about our concerns, for the afternoon.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna need to understand the different options.
Yeah,
Thank you.
welcome.
Any other questions for Jeff? Thank you, sir. Next item on the agenda is Finance and HR Superintendent, Marla DeSico. Marla?
Good evening. I just have two brief comments tonight. I just wanted to point out, we've done very well with our property tax receipts this year. We're at 99.89%, which is, it's always close, but that's better than usual. There's always, a few people who don't pay their property taxes. And you will also see in the last bullet point there that interest rates are still not great, but they're rising. I mean, it's nice to see it over 1%. So, I can't say they're great, but they've gotten a little bit better. So we do keep reinvesting, and we do tend to stay towards shorter term so that we can, make a move when rates increase. That's all for tonight. Happy Hanukkah.
Any questions for Marla? Next item on the agenda, Recreation Superintendent Tom Ritter. Tom?
Good evening. My first suggestion is anyone interested in attending the family New Year's Eve party? If you're watching this, it's probably just about sold out. There are currently 25 spots left out of 250, but they've been moving quickly the last few days. So glad to see it's going to fill, but I don't like turning people away. So please sign up as soon as possible. Obviously, it will be held on New Year's Eve from 4 to 6:30, a family event. DJ, dancing, pizza, ice cream, open gym, just a fun night of activities. So we encourage everybody to sign up. Our 6th annual Winterfest is a free event. It'll be held on Saturday, January 13th, over at the Century Park Pavilion. It's held from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We always book an ice sculpting show, which is quite impressive to see the guy with the chainsaw making pretty articulate, detailed characters that he always keeps a surprise until the day of. And we'll have horse and buggy rides. The dog sled demonstrations are usually one of the biggest hits. And if the weather cooperates, we'll have ice skating and sledding. We do some kids' activities inside the pavilion itself. We have a campfire with s'mores. So just a nice winter activity, and its best part is it's free. So hopefully you'll all come out on January 13th. Looking ahead a little bit, tickets are currently available for sale for our 5th annual craft beer tasting event. Can't believe it's been 5 years already, but that is on Saturday, March 3rd, here at the Sullivan Center from 5 to 9 p.m. We will have live music, food, and about 15 breweries represented. Our goal is always, it's probably the number one request is, we had a great time, but why aren't all the breweries represented? But got to remember, when you're sampling approximately 1 or 2 cases of everything, most breweries aren't going to bring a rep out for 1 or 2 cases of product, unfortunately. We do our best. The good news is Jack's been trying to get more of them, and he's already got 4 breweries that will actually have someone there to talk about their product specifically, which is always a nice perk. We continue to try and keep building that. So again, about 15, ends up about 40 flavors usually that people can sample that night. We usually get about somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 plus at the event, so it's a nice evening. Tickets are $30 through February 23rd, at which point they go up $5. So, youth basketball leagues have begun practicing, our biggest youth sports program. Season starts January 13th for games. We have 241 children playing on 28 teams. They play through the middle of March. It's about 30 kids less than last year, but the numbers waver each year. First and second graders, it's more of an instructional class. They show up and practice together and play a game on the same day on Saturdays. That current enrollment is now at 76. We had 72 children enrolled last year, so we'll probably have 80 or 90 kids participating. So that you can still enroll. Annual reminder to families with young children, Mondays and Thursdays here at the Sullivan Center. We've had a very successful parent-taught program over the years. It's a parent-taught open gym from 8:30 to 10:30 in the morning, where we set up a bunch of, just call them tot toys and miniature basketball hoops and scooters and tricycles, and the kids get to run around and play in the gym during these winter months. So it's only $3 to stop by, or if you want to get a punch pass, it's $25 for 10 punches. And that runs through, I don't have an exact date, but it's March or April. As the weather gets better, the program stops for the season. Also, during the holidays, we have a very popular holiday open gym with a special discount for any 18 and under residents, students. It's only $2 for open gym. And the schedule for that varies by day. The rate of $2 takes place from December 22nd through January 5th. And the actual hours of those open gyms are on our website on the open gym calendar. Weather permitting, the Century Park Pavilion is now open for skating and sledding, and there doesn't mean it's open right now. We don't have ice yet. A little bit of a warm weekend coming up, but as soon as we can, our parks guys do a great job getting the ice rink set, and Mother Nature cooperates. We'll have some snow on the hill. We'll see. But again, once it's cold enough, once there's enough snow and ice, we have free loaner skates available on Saturdays and Sundays at the Century Park Pavilion from 1 to 9 every weekend with a staff person there. And we usually have some refreshments for sale, small things, candy and drinks. The information about whether that is open is on our weather hotline, which is 847-996-6616. It's also a button on our homepage of our website. So it's kept updated on a regular basis. And finally, we'll be putting out more information to our residents in January and obviously in our brochure, which comes out in February, but we're making some more aggressive changes with our camp operations this coming summer. Some camps are switching locations, but the main change is we're eliminating the camp bus routes. We still obviously have buses to get kids from camp to the pool and to extended care and things of that nature, but we're eliminating the routing service, which will give more flexibility to us in our scheduling, and will also bring the prices down for camp a little bit. So we'll give more information about that as we turn into the new year. So that's my report, unless there's any questions.
Any questions for Tom? Commissioner Robbins?
Tom, I was concerned with the decrease in the basketball. You know, it's down 11-12%. What's attributable to this? Is there other competition in the area, or?
I don't think so. Every community has their program where most kids play, from their school district to the community park district. I asked a couple communities at a meeting I was at, and they said the same thing. They're down a little bit, but we try not to knee-jerk react too much, because one year we might go from 270 to 310, and we can't explain the increase. We think, oh, we're doing a good job. Our feedback on our surveys show no problems. It's just the usual stuff. Referees are never perfect, in a sports league, but our feedback is positive. Our coaches do a nice job. I do know there's one grade, and I think it's third grade. I remember a few years ago when that was preschoolers and stuff, but there's one class of kids that's a smaller class. Third grade is where our leagues start. So as they moved into that third grade league, that might have brought our numbers down a little bit, so there's less kids in that particular grade. If this continues to happen, then we look at it closer, but I'd still consider this strong when I compared it to, I think I talked to Gray's Lake and one other community of comparable size, and according to them, these are pretty good numbers, just relative to other communities. To us, this is down a little bit, but I couldn't tell you a specific reason.
Tom, the summer camps and the bus situation, what percent of the kids that are in camps take buses? What are give me a raw number. How many people is this going to affect?
I guess I would start by saying most people use it because it's included with the camp fee. It has been, because it's there anyway. But we notice in the older camps in particular, less and less people use it, whether it's because they live close enough and walk, whether they're getting rides. But it's a pretty costly service, and it takes a lot of time out of staff. And inevitably, like any bus route service, no disrespect to the bus companies, but there's always issues at the beginning of a season, the beginning of a school year, and it's so time consuming for staff. One agency I talked to about it, they spend like 25% of their time doing that instead of working on what they should be working on, which is day camp and activities and addressing parents' needs. So we just don't think it's needed, and it is unique. It is unique that we do it. There's really no other communities that do this routing for day camp, but we just see the flexibility of smaller sessions, more time for the staff, money saved for the participant, and if those that do need a service need to get their kid to camp early or late, we still have before and after care at the Sullivan Center. And if they had to bring their child here for before care, we still get them to camp with the bus. So we're still shuttling people on a bus. We're just not spending an hour every day with multiple buses picking everybody up at their houses. So we feel like by eliminating this, we're still providing some level of coverage, actually better coverage, as opposed to sitting on a bus for 45 minutes if you need it, you can come play activities with staff and other kids at the Sullivan Center, so,
Very good. Thank you.
well,
Next item on the agenda is Parks Superintendent James Kim. James?
Good evening. I just want to start off by saying that the bridge over at Century Park from the boat dock to the island is now open to the public. We are going to be very strict on the 5-ton weight limit on this bridge moving forward. Jeff and I discussed the only real time is the fireworks show. And we'll talk with the village and the fire department on how to lessen the load per vehicle as it goes across the bridge.
So fireworks, yeah.
And the
So
fire-
we're gonna have to work with the fire department on, maybe you just gotta get a smaller rig up there because the big trucks aren't gonna hold it. And same with the pyros that usually load a truck full of equipment. They might have to do 2 smaller trucks with their loads, Unless the fire department wants to contribute to the cost of, really shoring this thing up and making it, I don't know what a fire truck is, probably 10 ton?
It's a little over 5.
little
The
over
big
5.
the big rig in their fleet. The smaller ones still close.
And we're good up to 5?
We're good up to 5, and the engineer recommends with the age that you stay under 5, not 499. Okay. We hosted 2 pre-bid meetings, one for landscape bed maintenance and one for turf mowing this week. We've had 8 show up for the pre-bid for landscape and 10 for the turf mowing. These are 1-year contracts with the option of up to 3 total years, so 2 additional years if service is good and they stay under a certain percentage, which is the CPSI. Our environmental committee started on our Earth Day event. We planted milkweed seeds into plug trays so that some participants can plant them in our milkweed garden coming up in April. We solicited some drawings for playgrounds at Rainey and Donnelly for the next fiscal year. Playground reps will be present at the February board meeting with renderings, what they think they should see out there. And we're going to invite residents for inputs and then host a couple of public meetings. The 2 playgrounds will be repurposed by kids around the world for countries that need playgrounds and they can't afford new ones. The 2 playgrounds are by the same manufacturer, so that was a little interest for them. They can make one big playground, these things. And lastly, with the skate, ice rink, and the sled hill, staff flooded the ice rinks just to keep the liner down, and the weather does look pretty good for next week after the weekend to make some decent ice. I'm not saying for the holidays, but we'll be working hard all next week. And that concludes my report. If there's any questions?
Any questions for James? James, the intention is to take the rink and split it into 2 again?
We made 2 different rinks. One is strictly for hockey, and the other one's for recreational skating. But we did beef up the recreational skating because we know a lot of hockey players do play there, especially after, let's say, 8 o'clock, even after 11 o'clock. So they bring out their own goals too. They were pretty respectful last year because they know they don't want to ruin a good thing. And those lights really do help. They love that too.
Very good. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Marketing Communications Manager Cheryl Buman. Cheryl?
Good evening. Just mention that we are working on our spring, summer camp guide. It's all in one this year. It will not be a pull-out camp guide. We will have a section for camp, for day camps, and our sports camps and mini camps will be in their correct sections. So that's a new format coming out this year. I did want to mention that 13 of the free week passes to Lakeview Fitness that was included in our winter brochure have been turned in. That promotion goes on through January 31st. So if you received a card and you'd like to check out Lakeview Fitness, please do so before January 31st. I know this probably won't get on our cable channel, but tomorrow is our second story time with Santa at 10 in the morning. So come out to the Sullivan Community Center and hear Santa read a story and receive each child receives a small little gift. We have sent out all of our newsletters for our winter programs beginning in January. The kids received them at school. Everything to do at the Park District over your winter break camp is included, including some of our January special events. So they've all been sent out. We hope to have some, lots of kids come during the winter break. We have 3 different promotions for Lakeview Fitness. One has completed. We did a Black Friday personal training sale. That was not a flash sale. We did promote it prior to Black Friday. We did not pay for any Facebook posts or any Facebook ads, so that did result in 74 packages being purchased with a profit of nearly $1,800 after Marissa had let me know that profit per package was $24, so they felt that it was a success. I know Mark will probably mention this, but we do have our new membership special coming up January 1st to the 9th, and everybody who does purchase a new annual membership, if you're a new member, does get a $50 Park District gift card to spend any which way they want anywhere in the district. And I'm not sure if this is I think it's our 3rd triathlon, indoor triathlon, that also is starting January 1st. We've also been promoting that. January 1st through the 31st, participants will swim, bike, and run indoors, and they'll have a month to complete it.
83-lap swim?
More information's on our website and in our brochure.
You have to do 83 laps?
Back and
They'll
forth.
swim 83
That's a lot
laps,
of laps.
bike 115 miles,
That was,
and run or walk 26 over the course of a month.
You got a whole month.
Oh,
So you can
I
just
thought
go
it was all
swim.
one day.
You can swim 2 miles and go home.
It's cumulative.
you can swim 3 laps and go home.
Yeah,
And they're done that.
yeah, that's right, but you gotta do that 30 days in a row.
I know.
So,
It was great.
Okay.
Did it last year. It was a great experience. And thank you to my fellow commissioner here who helped me.
And we're doing it again. All the board members are doing it this
there you
year.
go.
I love it.
Your Speedo out, Jimmy.
okay, so,
It's a good look.
Continue on, Cheryl, go ahead.
There are children listening.
I discussed our welcome pack in our previous meeting, but all new residents will be receiving a little welcome letter from the Park District. And welcome to the district if you're new. That's my report for the night.
Any questions for Cheryl? Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is Lakeview Facility Supervisor Mark Purcell. Mark?
Good evening. Cheryl's touched on a couple of things I was going to mention. First of all was the Black Friday promotion. It looks like we'll be able to accommodate everybody in the normal time frame. Our trainers are very busy. That being said, we're looking to hire a new trainer or 2. So if anybody's seen this, they know of anyone, they're interested, please apply on our website. Of the 74 that were purchased, 22 of them were purchased by new clients, which was good to see. A lot of times our members know this is coming, but to attract new people in is really, it's a goal to get somebody in because it's a really good deal, and hopefully then they stay on with the personal training. She also mentioned the promotion we have going on in January, the 1st through the 9th, where you get a gift card. I think this is, I have to thank Cheryl for this. She said she's been doing some networking with other districts, and it seemed like many of the districts had feedback from members that this was something they valued more than just a percentage off, because it was something tangible they could, spend on something of their choice at their park district. As a part of that, on January 6th from 8 to 11, we're having a Cheers to 5 Years event. Lacey and Marissa are kind of leading it. The rest of us are volunteering. That day is basically free to the residents the entire day. So we have something going on 8 to 11. We're going to be having drawings, door prizes for 100 people, special group exercise classes, light refreshments, and Jason's Deli is going to be a sponsor that day. The intent is just to give everybody kind of a thank you for 5 years of us being open, and an opportunity for them to kind of see a little of what Lakeview is about. We also are having something that's going to parallel the open gym that Tom was talking about here at Sullivan. We did this last year and I got a really good response. From the 22nd of December through January 5th, we're doing an open swim. So it's $5 per person, or up to a family of 4 for $10 during open swim hours. We had a lot of people that were happy. They came just as a family to come and swim during open swim. Again, you should check our website to see when the open swim times are. Typically, on the weekends, it's from noon until close, but it's just a nice way to get indoors if it's cold outside. After you're done ice skating on our rinks, you can come and jump in the pool. So that's my report for tonight.
Any questions for Mark? Commissioner Blue.
So far, we've heard numerous specials for new members. Do we do anything for existing members? And if we don't, what's our retention rate for people that, once they get their special, how many of them re-sign up at full price?
You would be surprised how often I get that question.
Okay?
And one of the things that we do for existing members, we did last year, and we are currently in, last year we did the 100 visits for $100. This year we're doing $50 for 50 visits. For the new members, for the people that basically that are non-members, they're paying $50 for 50 visits. They get 3 months to do it in. But for the members, if they achieve, it's free to the members that are there now. And if they get 50 visits in that 3-month time period, they get a free month of membership. So we do that program as a way for our members to get rewarded for using the fitness center regularly.
The personal training is for existing too.
Personal training.
Well, that
The Black Friday sale.
could be used by new or existing people to buy the personal training that you just did. Special.
I'm not sure what you're saying.
The Black Friday sale we had for personal
Or
training
personal
Yeah.
was
training.
reduced.
Because he was
That
asking
was
things
good
that
for
we do
new
for
and-
That was for
existing.
anyone, yeah.
That was for
Yeah,
anyone,
so I'm
including,
just saying
Yes.
that is something else that was
Yeah.
for existing.
And I know that one of the things we've talked about is, in the past, we had discount percentage off the membership. And that's one of the things we're trying new this time is we're not going to be, we'll be giving them a $50 gift card instead. But it's for people that currently don't hold an annual membership or haven't had one for 6 months. We're typically in, we also do Fit Rewards, and a lot of people are starting to renew that. They started it about a month after I got here. So you accrue points for every time you swipe in, every time you send up, pay for personal training, you get babysitting, all those things. And as you accrue points, you can cash them in for a free month of membership. People do gym bags, water bottles, a variety of things. I personally like that program because you're rewarding, the longer somebody stays, the more often they use it, they can accrue points and cash those in for, anything they're interested in.
Because, like you, I get asked the same question a lot, and that was news for me, so now I can pass that information on to them.
And
Give
anybody,
them, and let them know that there is a way for them to reap a reward.
I think your follow-up question, Jim, was retention. You had a question on retention. I mean, our percentage of existing members, or you're asking about
Yeah, I
new
mean,
members?
I guess, I don't know if you know exactly, but on average, if we sign up every year, with our new membership deals and everything, and we bring in, I'll just use a number of 100 new, memberships, how many of those renew at full price?
so typically you do that at like 13 months.
Okay.
Because what you see is, if somebody joins for a year, it doesn't make sense to do it 11 months later because their membership hasn't expired. So if you'd like, I can get that for you.
I'm
and
just
for all-
interested in.
But I can attest to that, because I know just through our reports, our retention rate, since we opened the facility, if you bought it, is somewhere around 75%.
Okay.
And it may even be north of that, which is pretty darn good when you look at it as compared to on a national level. Most retentions are, pretty close to, they're usually in the 60 to 70, but anything you can get north of 70 is very, very favorable. And to me, we're going on 5 years, and I think one of the other things too, as a board member, that I think you should be aware of when you're using an elevator speech about this facility is 150,000 people come through that building every year. And the vast majority of those people that use that facility are Vernon Hills residents. And I think that's something you should hang your hat on in terms of just the use that our citizens are getting, whether it's swimming, whether it's Group X, I think is just tremendous. Obviously, childcare is a valuable asset that goes along with that as well. So that's, to me, I think a really unique thing.
Thank you.
he asked a valid question. Commissioner Blue asked a valid question. It's something, quite honestly, that I don't ever understand as a consumer, is how does Comcast offer new people, 1 penny for 12 months, but we're going to continue to charge our existing customers $190,000 per month. If we can just make a concerted effort to appreciate the people who, you know, and maybe there's a longevity piece to it as well. If you've been with us for 5 years, you get extra bonus points or something. You just, you know, but do want to thank the people who've been with us for the 5 years. I think that's,
I think it would be good to maybe throw, I don't know if it's a refresher or a reminder or something out there about the bonus point system, about the other things that the long-term members can take advantage of to help their membership.
Because there's maybe,
Membership
it's
costs.
maybe 25% of the people that are members take advantage of the program.
Right.
I think a lot of us just don't know about it.
I just don't know about it.
Doesn't cost anything.
It doesn't, and like you said, it doesn't cost anything, but if they don't know about it, you know, and if they did know about it, I'm sure a lot more of them probably would take advantage of it.
Sure.
Are they in the program if
You're
If
in it
they're-
automatically.
got you?
So I mean, even if you're not signed up for the, I mean, so what you end up doing is you provide a, you know, your email and a password and you can activate your account. You're accruing points even if you haven't done that. So
So
you,
they may be
so like if
recruiting
you've been a
points, they
member-
don't even know, their points are sitting out there, they're just not accessing.
Exactly right. They've been accumulating points even though they don't know it.
Okay, that's good to know, because
It's very helpful. Commissioner Kessler wants to
What
talk.
I
She
was
pushed
gonna-
her button, so let's let her
What I
talk.
was going to add is that you do send out reminders. I have received the emails from Lakeview Fitness saying that we do have this program, and every once in a while it tells you how many points you have. So it is actually going out there. Now, whether people are taking advantage of reading it, that's another issue. But I do think you are promoting it. I also think we run into the dilemma of, yes, we want to reward our customers, but if every year we have a sale and everyone participates, then it's pretty much, then the membership fee is just going to be 10% lower, and it's almost then what is actually it is a very difficult dilemma to like. So I actually really love the idea of offering the $50 gift certificate. I think it doesn't lower the value. I think the value of that program, Lakeview Fitness Center, is priced so reasonable, and to make it lower and lower just almost it makes it very hard to operate, and I think the value that they're getting is still a tremendous deal when you compare it to what we provide. So by making an enhancement or doing the other things, I think is what we should be
It was interesting.
stressing.
It's been a while since it's probably been, I think, it's been 2 years since we've stopped offering it to existing. We found is many of the members, every time we had a promotion, they bought a year. So there were people that had it going out. I think we have still members that are into like 2018 because they just put a promotion on top of a promotion on top of a promotion. So their rate was just continually discounted into the future.
Right.
It's a tough thing because, 5 years ago when we were all sitting here deciding on how we were gonna price out the strategy for the membership, because we were in a tough dilemma. We had people leaving, we wanted to make sure that our residents were taken care of first and foremost, so we undercut the price of what the Y was charging at that time. So it goes back to the original, yet every year we've had price increases. I think actually the first year we froze it, but from year 2 on, we've raised our monthlies with trying to keep in mind that, the cost on it is still pretty favorable. You think it's, $1.50 a day is what you're paying if you used it every day, for your cost of your membership.
Well, we also have the suggestion box, and I think when we stay up on what people are most interested in and addressing them, I think we really listen.
We try, and we can't say yes to everything that gets suggested, but and it seems like the vast majority of them were related to group exercise. Because a lot of them love the classes and they would like to love them at a time that's more convenient to their schedule. So it's just, you try to do the best job you can, trying to keep it,
Need a second group
fair to
exercise.
everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Commissioner Committee Reports, Communications. There are none. Next item is Board Correspondence. We have none this month. Next item on the agenda is Unfinished Business. We have no unfinished business because we were so efficient last month, we got it all done. New items, new business. Marketing social media presentation by Cheryl Buman. Cheryl, could you please come up and give us a presentation?
Just stay seated.
I'm gonna stay seated so you can hear
Should
me.
him.
We don't have the podium.
Oh,
She's gonna do it from her.
If you could stay seated and give us your presentation, please.
James is gonna pull it up in a minute. So this is just, in your board report, in my board report, you just got a sheet with a lot of numbers. So I just did a real simple PowerPoint presentation, so you can, I just did some graphs and some photos, so you can better understand what I talk about when I talk about social media. And for most instances, I've tried to compare 2016 numbers through the 11 months of 2017. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is a Facebook post of the left. It's our dragon. This is just a post. We put a little bit of a comment, and in our regular posts, people can make comments, they can share, they can like. So this is just what a regular Facebook post looks like. In 2016, we had 2,100 people basically following us. They're called fans. This year, we have 2,691. Our first year when we brought Cassidy on board, she had posted 357 posts like this throughout the year. Through this month, she's up to 529. So we've really increased our posting that we've done, and really that's almost twice a day. I mean, it's a lot of posting going on. So that is what a post is in our fans. Engagement means how many people interact with our post. So that could be they can comment in the comment section, they can share it on their own Facebook personal post, and they can react to it, which would be like they push the like button. There's little like symbols there. So this is comparing 2016 is in blue, 2017 is in red. So we've increased our engagement in all aspects throughout the year. You can see we went up about 5,500 people engaged, or engagement throughout the past, comparing 2016 to 2017.
What percentage would that be, Bruce?
And I will say that if somebody does make a comment
54%.
that they want the park district to answer, it is answered immediately. You know, if it's during the work hours, it's answered within probably a half hour. She always has it up in case something comes in. Okay, so when I talk about a Facebook ad, this is what we pay for. So this is what an ad looks like. It always has a photo, and we have a little bit of a slogan. This one actually was for our Family Aquatic Center. When we were doing the Lucky You, save 17%. So you can see that's our little slogan. It always takes you back to the website. And then there is a details when you go down a little bit. I can put the whole thing on there. But that is what an ad would look like. So throughout up the 11 months of 2017 total on ads, we did spend almost $1,400. We've reached 32,000 people. And impressions is how many times people can see the ad. So you might see the same ad 3 or 4 times. So that's how many times it's going through people's feeds, however often they look at their Facebook. And then clicks is meaning over 1,000 people actually clicked on our ads to take them further to register.
I have a quick question on that.
Sure.
When they click to the website, to visit the website, does it take them right to the page to
Register.
To register?
Yeah, so if it's like an event, it takes them to the event page, and on that event page, you register.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so here is a special event page. So what you're asked. So here, this is for RibFest. For all of our events, we include a special event page that would be more detailed than a regular post. So for RibFest, it will list the details. It will link. Normally, it will link to registration. We didn't have registration for RibFest, so that's not on there, but they all do. Again, comment areas. We can see as we're going, like who clicked. I'm going to definitely go. I'm interested. So as the event is nearing, we can kind of see how it's going. And then you can't see it, but down below would be like Jessica talked about our sponsors. On the event page, we'll list our sponsors and links to the sponsors' businesses.
Okay, before you go away,
Sure.
you said you can see who's interested in going?
You can see the number of people.
You can't see who they are.
No, not if they're, well, I shouldn't say that.
Only if they're your friends, I think.
I don't know that 100%. if you can see exactly, I know you can see the number of people who are interested. Until they actually register, I don't know if you can see their exact Facebook.
I'd be very curious to know if we can get that data,
Okay, let me write that down.
because if we know somebody's interested and we've got their contact information, that'd be great to go out a few days in advance and say, hey, you were interested in this, just want to remind you it's coming up. Because somebody may click, I'm interested in it a month in advance, and then 3 days before, forget about it. And if we can go out, on a Wednesday and say, by the way, Dave,
Yeah, it might be, I guess I'm thinking, Dave, what if you get 1,000 people that are interested?
then we send out 1,000, heard you were interested. You indicated you were interested, just want to send out a friendly reminder.
How to do that, yeah, group that somehow.
You're just saying on Facebook, you just send them a post
Yeah,
through Facebook.
yeah. And I don't know if it's even possible. I'm just thinking, if I express I'm interested in something 3 weeks before, it'd be great to get a reminder 2 or 3 days before and say, hey, by the way, you said you were interested in this, just want to remind you it's coming up. Go, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I definitely look into that. I don't want to say an incorrect answer, so I'm not exactly
I
sure.
understand.
Okay, I will look into that for you. Okay, Instagram. Instagram is basically, it's a photo. It always has a photo. It has a little bit of, you can see there, it will tell you what it was Thanksgiving weekend at the Little Learners. So it's really just a feel good. So people can post comments and all that, but really it's all photos, and we do events. We just do walks in the park. We'll do a pretty flower. I mean, it's just anything. But we have, in 2016, we had 246 people follow us, and it's almost doubled for this year. We're up to 505. So Twitter. Twitter, it's either a photo, a video, or a short written comment that is published to our Park District feed. So you can see the example for Lakeview Fitness. I'm sorry I can't read that because I can't see that far. But that's what we did for Lakeview Fitness when we were kind of rolling out our new look. And people can comment. So we had 251 followers in 2016. We increased it to 338. I will say Twitter is our least followed. Obviously, it's our least followed. That's not as active. Instagram and Facebook are very active. Twitter is a little bit less, but we still use it. People are still engaged in it. And Cassie has tweeted 420 times this year so far. This is how many people, again, are engaged. That means they make a comment, or they might share it, or they may retweet what we tweeted on their own Twitter feed. Or they'll reply to it, they'll like it. So there are people engaged in our Twitter. So we keep it up.
Just help me understand this chart.
So this is where
The blue's 2016,
Yes.
17.
is red.
I'm assuming if in 17 we didn't do it, how would I know if we didn't do as much in 17? Is 17,
So
in every case, we've exceeded what we did in 16?
yes,
Is that,
across the board, every slide where we've increased
Okay.
in everything.
how would I know if we didn't exceed? If there was no red, how would I know where we're at?
Black.
It would be black.
Well, this one, because there were so many, I didn't put all the exact numbers. So I do have. Let's see, actually, I might have it here.
I'm used to bar charts right next to
Oh.
each other where you could see this versus this.
Oh, I see. So, yeah. So
I understand, that's,
I probably would have done it if it was the opposite way. I probably wouldn't have done that type of a bar chart.
okay, that's okay.
Because I could choose what I wanted. I was just trying to keep it consistent. But I knew that we increased in everything, so I chose
Perfect.
this one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's it. I mean, we thought we'd just show you kind of what we talk about when I talk about this. Is there any questions on any of our 3 different types of platforms that we use?
Just one,
The one that you asked.
no,
Oh,
one other platform. Younger adults tend to be Snapchat. Okay? Facebook's for mom and dad now. They've been chased off there. And we'll get them off Snapchat and everywhere else too until they come up with something new. But have we looked at, is that not a program that matches what we're trying to accomplish? Or have we looked at it? Or
well, we have looked at it. Our demographic for our park district is basically women most people who engage in our park district are 35 to 44 years old. Snapchat, like you said, is really for the younger crowd. Sorry. So, we didn't feel by using Snapchat right now, because it is for the younger crowd, it's for like the low 20s, or even the high teens use it. That's not our market. So we have not done Snapchat. Not to say that we can't.
So what I've seen, Dave, too, is even some of our millennials, they'll take a photo of ours from Facebook and they'll use it, and they just, you know, as Snapchat, for those of you, it's gone instantly. I mean, you take a photo,
It's
you-
never
it's
gone.
in. Okay, well.
May not be able to see it, but it's never gone.
And so it just, and we've talked about this with, you know, with Cassidy, and she agrees too, that it's just a different demographic, and it's just something that, even with the Instagram, you see we're only getting a few hundred, and the tweets are even less than that. Facebook is really our go-to. It's really provided us with a lot of favorable response in advancing some of our program and our facility use. But, yeah.
I will say, I think it was Rib Fest. We did do a Snapchat filter. So if there was someone, so we did an event, so we could do it. So if someone did a Snapchat at our Rib Fest, so we have an account, we created it. If they did it within the, I don't know if it was like a mile of Century Park, on their Snap went Rib Fest 2017 Century Park. So we did that for an event. And actually, I could probably, we might be able to look up how many snaps were done on that day. Or I may have actually said that prior when we did Rib Fest. I could look it up. But yeah, we have talked about something we can't do it. We just didn't know if it would be worth our time, because it wasn't really meeting our demographic of who
Understand.
works at the park district right now.
Does it cost anything to set up an event?
It did. It was not a lot.
Nominal?
$30. It wasn't free to do that, so, because people, yeah, we did have to pay for it.
Would there be any other events, Loop the Lakes comes to mind, of something that people take pictures of themselves and,
We could set it up for that. It's an outdoor, it would be a similar thing, like
Yeah.
outdoor Century Park.
outdoor Century Park, people take pictures of themselves running and active, and
Fall Fest for costumes.
Fall Fest for costumes.
Gotta be careful, that's with all the
Yeah, little kids around, yeah, it's good, that's a great point.
Yeah. Because normally Snapchat is usually, it's usually not, it's usually people, at least the ones I see. It's not so much, I think, landscape. I think it's more of somebody doing something from what I
Yeah, the only thing that comes to mind with Snapchat with the younger generation is things like special, like Lakeview Fitness for, you know, Christmas break. We're gonna set up a special, if you're in college and you wanna come home and work out for 30 days. Would that fit? I don't know enough
And
about
Snapchat
Snapchat to.
usually just has, you can add maybe 5 words. It has to fit on the
That's it, okay.
screen. Like, it's not something you would write about. It's more of a 1 to 5 word,
Hey Cindy, I'm here.
that's it. I mean,
you
that's
know.
basically it, or nothing,
Okay.
yeah.
So my question on Snapchat is
Senator
it,
Kessler.
I knew you were gonna call on me. We need to initiate it, or can it be a platform where other people could say, hey, I'm here? For example, if people are gonna play hockey at the rink, can they use it as I'm not quite sure, as saying like, hey, we're gonna have a pickup game, basketball, hockey, or
From
whatever.
what I know, and Cassie had plans tonight because I wanted her to be here. From what I know, from what I see on a personal thing, is you have a friend base. So you have to, it just doesn't go out to the world, it goes out to your
Right.
friend base. So if someone would snap, it's not gonna just, go to our district, they'd have to want us.
Well, could there be, I guess, kind of tying in events or things like that, could there be a place for anyone who's interested in a hockey game or a basketball game to use that? Maybe they don't know that there's games going on, and it's something that they could check to see who's where. Is that?
No, I'm laughing because they just, on Shark Tank, the other night, they just had somebody who's developing an app for this.
I could have been on, that's my idea.
Not anymore.
There are several apps out there already that do it, but it's basically, community type, and it was focused around basketball because that's more in demand, but hey, we got a game going here, anybody who want, and you sign up for this service, and anybody who signs up,
Well, it's kind of like a meetup group. then.
exactly, it's exactly what it is, so, and it fails miserably, so.
You know, I will do a little research on it, because I only know what I know personally, so some of your questions I just don't know.
Actually, the meetup groups are very interesting as far as finding activities and things like that that people are involved in. And I mean, that could be for pickleball and for a variety of things we could set up and have,
I don't know, the sidebar is.
yeah. Anyways,
I know what a VS is, yeah. I can look into
We
it.
all know. So anyway, Commissioner Kessler. Thank you very much, Cheryl.
You're welcome.
Next item on the agenda is Hawthorne Kindergarten Facility Driveway Update, Executive Director Fusaro. We're gonna skip that. Next item on the agenda is ordinance 9-17, an ordinance for the assessment of the levy of taxes for the year 2017. Could I have a motion to approve ordinance 9-01, or 9-17?
So moved.
Second?
second,
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kessler,
yes.
Commissioner Baloo,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
President Dorhofer.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 10-17, a resolution adopting a policy prohibiting sexual harassment. Can I have a motion to approve Resolution 10-17?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? This is the Governor Rauner initiative.
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baloo,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
President Dorhofer.
Yes, next item on the agenda is the W.W. Granger invoice payable. Could I have a motion to approve the W.W. Granger invoice payable in the amount of $456.09?
So moved.
Second? Profit share, it's waiting.
Second,
Discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes.
Commissioner Baloo,
If we must, yes.
Commissioner Kessler.
yes.
President Dorhofer.
Abstain. Commissioner comments, Commissioner Baloo.
Couple things. One, I'd like to thank the staff for everything they've done for another year. It's been a great year. Hear nothing but wonderful things about the Park District, and that's all because of all the work that you guys do, not us. So, really appreciate all your efforts this past year, and look forward to another great year, and happy holidays to everyone. That's it.
Commissioner Robbins?
I'm just happy and a healthy new year to the board, the park staff, and all the residents of our fine community.
Commissioner Kessler?
I think Mr. Baloo said it very well. I concur with all of that. Thank you, staff, and happy holidays.
And finally, myself, concur with Commissioner Baloo. Thank you to you all and to all staff for making this just a fantastic park district. Thank you to the residents of Vernon Hills, because at the end of the day, you make us what we are, and your support of us, and we greatly, greatly appreciate it. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, since we won't be seeing you. And with that, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Kessler,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
Commissioner Baloo.
Yes.
President Dorhofer.
Yes, we are adjourned.